Okay. I'm just waiting. Hey, Lori. How are you this Sunday morning? Looks like for now it's just me and you, Lori. What are you up to today? Let me know if you can hear me okay. Sunday morning, summer, um, staying out of the heat. Great idea. Yeah, we're catching it. Everybody, I guess. This heat is relentless. It is stalking everybody. Stay out of the heat. Yeah, I got up early today. Well, I usually get up early. And I thought, because, I don't have a schedule for this, I'm not that organized yet. I thought to myself, it feels like it's time to go live via the old smartphone. It just felt like it was time. Lori, your book, well, my gift, which I thank you for again. Let me see, how do I turn this thing around? Okay, let me show you something. There it is. There it is. Yeah. The guitar is such a beautiful instrument. Nashville, the Pilgrims of Guitar Town. Um, it's been fun flipping through this. Been a lot of fun. Great pictures. A wonderful gift from Lori Thomas, a subscriber and friend. It's a great coffee table. You don't want to read. The pictures are just cool. You come back to the reading later. Um, just love the simplicity of it, how it's laid out. The pictures are great. Pictures are terrific. Black and white, their color, just terrific. Yeah. So I'm just about 4 or 5 pages into it as far as reading, because I'm taking my time. I'm savoring this. Yeah. So, Lori, I just wanted you to know that The book has found a permanent home here on my coffee table, and I am enjoying it very much. Yes, I am. Uh, yeah, you had me. I mean, I love reading, and I love you know reading about stuff I like. So, yeah, a book about music, any kind of music, anytime, anytime. Thank you for that. Yeah, Sunday morning. All I can say is everybody might be at church, and now I'm starting to feel bad. Um, you know, what are your plans for the rest of the day? Staying indoors, I'm guessing, Lori. Yeah, that would be a safe bet. Staying indoors. Okay, so I was actually thinking about doing a deep dive today. Kind of depends, or starting one anyway, um, on a few things. There's always something going on, so um, we'll see if I can do that live later, maybe. One of my longtime subscribers suggested that it was time for a deep dive on Mr. Charley Pride. Now, I'm not done with the Reddirt thing yet, but looking a bit forward, right? Um, my next deep dive is going to be on the legendary Charley Pride, the pride of Sledge, Mississippi. Sledge. Now, what is the origin of that name? I think I'm going to find out. I'm going to try to. Mr. Charley Pride, recommended by channel member and longtime subscriber, Tallest Mountain, who recently celebrated 50 years of marital bliss. A whole 50 years. Half a buck. Half a century. Respect, love, and admiration for the both of you. At Tallest Mountain recommended that we do a deep dive on Charley Pride. She was like, listen, it's time for you to do a deep dive on Charley Pride. It's time. I've reacted to Charley Pride. Um, I've reacted to several Charley Pride songs. Um, I want to say the first one I heard was Kiss an Angel Good Morning. Kiss an Angel Good Morning. And I kid you not that this matters, but it does. Let's not dance around it. Uh, I didn't know Charley Pride was a black person. I did not know Charley Pride was black. At that time, when I started reacting, I didn't know anything about country music. Not much. Not enough to know, um, enough to have heard of Charley Pride, but not enough to realize he was who he was, right? So Kiss an Angel Good Morning. It looks like he was on some kind of variety show or something. I think the name of the band, the house band or whatever it was the Superlatives. I forget the lead guy's name, but you guys know what I'm talking about. Great guitarist. And so he introduces Mr. Charley Pride, and Charlie comes out sharp as a tack, just looking smooth. And here I am. It's probably my third song I'm reacting to. And I'm like, okay, all right. Um, and so that was the beginning of my Charley Pride journey. That reaction to him doing Kiss an Angel Good Morning. Of course, the writing blew me away. Love the lyrics in that song. Simple, but so beautiful, so touching. And that song got me. I'm like, Charley Pride, okay. Those lyrics. But to hear him sing was like a lot of things on this journey. A beautiful and pleasant surprise. Um, the control, first of all, just the quality of his overall voice really drew me in. He definitely resonated. Mr. Charley Pride. Sledge, Mississippi. So dug him from that first reaction. Kiss an Angel Good Morning. And then at some point, I reacted to Me and Bobby McGee. You guys know the song is really, yeah, Marty Stewart was the head of the Superlatives. I haven't gotten into Marty Stewart yet, but I know who he is. Uh, I know he can play the hell out of that guitar. Super talented guy. So I know who he is. So yeah, Charley Pride, Me and Bobby McGee. It was a Sunday morning, not unlike this Sunday morning where I get up early, make me some coffee. I might smoke a little something, um, do a little reading, like this morning. And I'm like, who am I reacting to today? And Charley Pride came to mind. Me and Bobby McGee blew me away. The storytelling. Again, this is early PJ reacting. So the storytelling is already, man. It's like, wow, this is super different. Um, I was there along with them for that ride, for that journey. Um, I did go back and see the what's her name? Uh, Her name escapes me right now, but you guys will help me out. Who did it originally? Janis Joplin, I think it was the who did the original, I believe. Uh, you go handle those dirty calls, Iron Herder. Yes, Bobby McGee was indeed written by Chris Christopherson and done by, as you know, Laurie, a whole bunch of folks, including Janis Joplin. But the first time I heard it was Charley Pride. First time I heard that song was by Mr. Charley Pride, and loved his version. His voice again in that song was like, for me, right there. I believe I was like, I get it. Beautiful baritone, smooth, resonant, mature. You know, like some nice mahogany wood, um, and just he projects with such perfection, man. A a well honed performer. So me and Bobby McGee, I think that's when I really started to um, focus in on his voice and everything that was going on with that really rich instrument. So me and Bobby McGee did that one. I'm forgetting the order, but bear with me. There won't be a test. At some point, I found myself listening to um, Is Anybody Going to San Antonio? Um, I'm sure that song's been done by a ton of folks. Well, I'm not sure, but it's a hypothesis. So I heard that song, and my first instinct was to just like laugh. I'm like, Charley Pride's a comedian. Charley Pride's he's a comedian. He's a straight up and down comedian. That record made me laugh. When I first saw the title, I'm not gonna lie, I don't know exactly what I was thinking, but I imagine, knowing me, I'm thinking, the brother might be a little bit down and out and he needs to get to San Antonio. So he's thumbing it. He's on the side of the road trying to get to San Antonio. That's what I was thinking. And then the story starts to unfold. Um, and I'm like, wow, you packed all of that into this song. The stories just draw you in. That's what's done it for me here. Checking out this country music stuff. It's the stories, man. It's the writing. It's um I've listened to a lot of music like you guys have. All music is good music as far as I'm concerned. Except for the stuff I don't like. And then that ain't good music. It's the stories, it's the writing. Like you mentioned, Lori, Chris Christopherson, um, which I can't wait to go down that rabbit hole. Um, just his whole background coming from such affluence and um, just wanting to write and just wanting to, be who he was meant to be. Look at the legacy that man has left behind. Um, Chris Christopherson, another rabbit hole coming soon. Um, yeah, so he started singing that song, man. Is anybody going to San Antone? And I I was laughing. If I wasn't laughing out loud, I was bawling on the inside, man. Just a story. Um, and his voice, once again, I'm like, yeah, smooth and rich, beautiful texture to it. He could go up high, he could bring it down low. At some point, I ended up reacting to Roll On, Mississippi. Um, he is the pride of Sledge, Mississippi. That had to be 70s, man, or very early 80s, judging from the video that I reacted to. The fro was definitely in full effect. I think his collar might have been like 2 feet wide. It's classic 70s style. Had the gold chains on. Um, Not Run DMC gold chains, but really nice, fine gold chains. And he is on the friggin' Mississippi. It's on a riverboat. I think that's what that's called. Help me, Lori. I get my boats mixed up sometimes. But he's on the mighty Mississippi and is singing about growing up on the Mississippi. I'm like, once again, weave in that story. Just great male vocals when it comes to Mr. Charley Pride. An undeniable talent and a force, musical force, um, that I can't wait to get into. Although, like I said, I've heard, you know, a few of his songs. I've reacted to a few of his songs. But it's time, as Tallest Mountain says, for a deep dive. So, Charley Pride it is. I remember reacting to, I want to say something about snakes. Charley Pride, snakes. The snakes crawl at night, maybe. Kobe said, that's my grandpa. Sweet Kobe, sweet Kobe. Um, Good morning to you, Kendall. Um, Laura, you are not wrong. There's a lot of awesome storytellers in country music. There's no doubt about that. And in that upper echelon, uh, from what I've heard, is Mr. Charley Pride. Up there with all the big ones, all of the greats. Um, an interesting man, an interesting story. Um, Beautiful, uniquely American story. Um, he was a professional baseball player, I learned. I only knew that because of this channel. Not only could that man sing your girlfriend away. Um, but he could hit a fastball thrown by a major leaguer. Super talented guy. I've watched a couple of his interviews. He's written at least two books that I know of. I've seen him interviewed, um, I want to say for his autobiography or his biography. Um, yeah, Mr. Charley Pride. He left a dent. He left a significant dent. I was here. I was here and I did me. I love it, man. I call him a maverick. Unapologetically Charley Pride. This is who I am. Take it or leave it. Most people took it from everything I know, which ain't much, so I'm no authority. I'm just saying. I am looking forward into learning out loud with all of you about Mr. Charley Pride in the very near future. Uh, soon. So, so that's coming. Let's see what else is going on. Oh yeah, the Iron Herder is in the building or was. Couldn't take the heat, so he got the hell out of the kitchen. Equal opportunity annoyer. Good Sunday to you, sir. Um, yeah, that Marty Stewart. We're gonna get to Marty Stewart at some point. I am not completely aware of his like um major significance yet. I haven't connected those dots, but I do know he is somebody that I do need to get into. So, yeah, the reason I said that is I just looked down at the chat, um, and Lori was mentioning Marty Stewart. So, Charley Pride coming very soon. So, as you guys know, right now I'm checking out some Reddirt stuff. Uh, Reddirt, blue. I didn't know. I didn't know. I know now in no uncertain terms. I know now. Reddirt music. So I have lived in Oklahoma, so I knew the dirt was red. And I'm pretty sure the grass was green. Or at least it was when I lived there. So the whole red dirt concept, I got it right away. But didn't obviously didn't know anything about the vibe, the whole. PJ, I'm gonna learn now. I ain't afraid to crack a book. If you hide your money in books, I'm coming to get your money. Um, so yeah, the whole red dirt thing, fascinating. A genre of music, essentially an offshoot, if there's a need to, describe this thing, in a semi-technical way, right? So this is all happening in the beginning in Stillwater, Oklahoma. Is it Stillwater or Sweetwater? Stillwater, pretty sure. The internet will correct you. So I'm awaiting my punishment. I am, like a good soldier. Have I heard Stevie Ray Vaughan? Let's put it this way, Lori. I haven't listened to Stevie Ray Vaughan. Okay. Have I heard Stevie Ray Vaughan? I'm pretty sure I have. Texan, I believe. Uh, I think he learned through the blues tradition, I believe. And it was just one of those virtuosos, I believe. But I haven't listened to Stevie Ray Vaughan. I'm scrolling through my see, that's what happens. Here trying to talk. Okay. All right. Okay. Raul Malo, the singer of the Mavericks, who I love and adore, just announced that he is fighting colon cancer. Yeah. They are a great band, Kendall. Love the Mavericks. I hope Raul is going to be okay. I send him love and positive energy. Hope it gets to him. Hmm, yeah. Mr. Savage is in the building. Good Sunday, sir. Hope you're doing well. I'm just on here, man, just smacking my chops. Meandering all over the place. Incoherent. Um, yeah, Raul, sending out love and positive vibes for your complete healing. Yes, sir, for your complete healing. Lori confirming that I know a little bit about Stevie Ray Vaughan. He was indeed a Texan and a blues guy. She wants me to check out Texas Flood at the El Mocambo, I think it is. I will do that. I have heard of Stevie Ray Vaughan. I've probably heard some links. I might have even seen a reaction or two, but I have not listened to Stevie Ray Vaughan. I look forward to that. Lori has not steered me wrong yet. Hey, Charnel, that's where I was. A Reddirt, okay, and it emanating out of Stillwater, Oklahoma, which, when you kind of think about it, well, at least when I kind of think about it, you're in Oklahoma, you're in college, that whole college scene and all that energy, man. Something was bound to come out of that mixture up there. And the right stuff was set in motion, and there was an old farmhouse. Some like-minded kids got together and started jamming, smoking that good Oklahoma grass. I imagine there was probably a little bit of fraternization taking place. There's plenty of whiskey. Folks, I have a vivid imagination. So this farmhouse in Stillwater is there. It has a garage. Somebody will help me with this. They named the garage. So this farmhouse, these like-minded kids, singer-songwriters, wannabe performers, got together at this old farmhouse and jammed. That's what they did. That's what they was into. That's what they were into. And this is where we get the origins. Listen, if I'm wrong, I know y'all coming to get me. I already know that. My basic research tells me that it all started there in Stillwater, Oklahoma, right close to that university. I'm imagining at that time, late 70s, early 80s, was a hotbed of tight jeans, booze, and a whole lot of imagination. These kids got together and jammed themselves into a whole new genre. I got through reading that and I was like, the next voice I heard in my head, yes, I do hear voices on occasion, was that of Steve Harvey. Was it Steve Harvey? Was it Paul Harvey? Okay, I know somebody corrected me. It had to be Paul Harvey, wasn't Steve Harvey is Oklahoma State University. That's right. Stillwater. Um, Thank you, Laura. Yes, Oklahoma State University. That university town. So boom, these guys create a whole new genre. They gave us red dirt music. That's what it became. You know, we always got to label stuff. So here's this thing. It's different. It ain't Hank Williams. It's a little different. They're mixing up the tempo, and those guitars are real edgy. You know, those college kids, those philosophy majors. They done turned up the amplification, mixing in some jazz and rhythm and blues. Um, but they were just jamming, an eclectic group, and birthed um, Reddirt music, which I am getting to know. And like you guys, I'm a music lover. I instantly appreciated it. I mean, when it's good, It's not hard to, right? Um, just love um, the musicianship of it all. Those guys are out there, they're free, they're loose, they're jamming and having a good time. Um, love the writing. Yeah, Red Dirt music. Lori Thomas, friend and subscriber here, I want to say was the first person to ever ask me about Red Dirt music. It was either her or Stevie Wonder. Red Dirt music. So it's been really cool learning about um, that style of music, the artist, REK, um, Randall Earl Keene. Um, just just great stuff, just great storytelling. Um, love the sense of humor in the music that I've heard so far. Um, you know, one of the ones that really stand out in my mind is Oklahoma Boys by something Canadian ragweed. I do know that their name is an amalgamation of all of their last names. Um, Mike Savage, I'm going to read his comment. His favorite memories of working at Oklahoma State University include the Cowgirls. Now, why wouldn't it? There's just something special about a cowgirl. Great minds think alike, Mr. Savage. Canadian ragweed. Thank you, Mike. So that song, Oklahoma Boys, was genius, first of all. And second of all, it was right up my alley. Um, the sound, again, clearly not regular country. But again, the musicianship, love the youth, the energy in that record. The subject matter was just epic, iconic. That is now on my stoner playlist. Why wouldn't it be, right? Great writing. The boys from Oklahoma, they roll their weed all wrong. Too fat, too skinny, too long. Just genius. And proceeds to tell us, because they have some serious intimate knowledge on the subject, um, who rolls their weed, how Louisiana does it. They definitely shine a light on the boys up in Norman. Great song, great vocals, great vibes. Stony LaRue. Now, Mike, check out Oklahoma Breakdown. You mean by the Canadian ragweed band? Um, I want to. Haven't I done Oklahoma Breakdown? Maybe by somebody else. Maybe I'm just wrong. Uh, Stony LaRue. I want to say I've heard Stony LaRue. I couldn't tell you what song of it I heard. Hey, Mike, does that Bedlam thing still happen? I remember when I lived there. Of course, I lived in Edmond, Oklahoma. I want to say, if I remember correctly, that was north of Oklahoma City. I think Edmond was north of Oklahoma City. The Bedlam was a huge thing. That was when OSU played OU. And in the state of Oklahoma, man, you're either wearing orange or you're wearing red. They take it seriously. At least they did when I was there. Is that still happening? The Bedlam thing? I think it was OU is moving to the SEC, yes, by Stony LaRue. Okay, so I did. Great stuff. Y'all keep me on track. So the Reddirt stuff, yeah, loving it. Absolutely loving it. What else is going on with me? So yeah, health-wise, guys, I have need to heat up my coffee a little bit. I have an appointment coming up to to see what's going on with me. Normal stuff, the kind of checkups that you have, after you've had cancer or cancer surgery. So I'll be seeing an oncologist to talk to me about the plan of action. How often am I going to have colonoscopies going forward? What other kind of surveillance? So they're going to talk to me about, how they plan on monitoring me. But I feel good. I've gained some weight. I was in recovery mode for a while and decided to milk it. And I messed around and put on a few pounds. So at some point, I have some other stuff going on, but at some point I do plan on trying to knock off, this weight that I've put on. Yeah. All right, party people. I have never heard Stony LaRue, but I have listened to Stony Stone, who is from Georgia and a great singer. Stony Stone. Okay, I love the name. I love the name. John Kennedy says, Charley Pride. Hold on one second. I'm trying to navigate through my place here with the phone in one hand and the coffee cup in the other, and it's not working out. So I'm using my legs, everything. Um, okay. I just needed to grab something out of my little office there. Okay. All right. Yeah, Charley Pride. I can't wait to get into Charley. I mean, this is how I started this thing off, talking about Charley. John says Charley Pride was truly a great singer. He was also a great presenter on stage. Yeah. Um, Looking forward to that. What else is happening in the chat? Okay, let's go down. I got to look up Stony Stone. Yeah, Stony Stone. Love the name, man. SEC. Okay. Yeah. Any questions for me, guys? I'm going to open it up for questions. Any questions for me? Again, health wise, I feel great. Um, I feel very fortunate. The thing, and some of you can identify with this, but everything happened so quickly. You know what I mean? It's like boom, 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 boom. Got to act quickly, got to move. And so it's like thinking the worst, but then you're trying to be positive in the beginning. And you just have no idea. And so I was in a state of like, it's a really different space to be in. Obviously, where you are truly contemplating your existence. You know what I'm saying? That was just a crazy place to be in after the diagnosis and not knowing all of the details and stuff. Um, but I mean, yeah, I feel, as far as that goes, feel really good. My prognosis is great. And I'm going to stop talking about this at some point, maybe today. But I'm doing really well. Snakes Call at Night was, I'm sure you're absolutely right, a Ronnie Millsap song. I want to say Charley Pride may have done it, and I may have reacted to it. But I could be wrong. The song has something to do with infidelity, and I don't know, somebody coming home and seeing something. I vaguely recall. Ronnie Millsap, love Ronnie's voice. Ron Gaddis. There's a new name for me. Okay. All right. We'll definitely do that. Yeah, Lori, me too. I mean, and that's the key, isn't it? Right? To all of these cancers is it's early. Yeah. That's what saved me. I got it out in time. You know. Yeah, for sure. Let's see. So Ron Gaddis. Lori, what do you know about Ron Gaddis? George Jones's backup singer. Is he that voice we hear? Is he on all of his studio recordings and stuff, or was this just stage stuff? John, I have reacted to, I want to say, a Ronnie Millsap song or two. Stuck in the 50s or something like that comes to mind. I want to say it was almost a throwback to, I forget what the period, it was either the 50s or the 60s. I know somebody will help me. But I have reacted to that one Ronnie Millsap song, and you're right. I love his voice. He was at the piano. Also, I want to say a Christmas song, a Christmas carol, a Christmas carol from Ronnie Millsap during the Christmas season, during the holiday seasons. So I am a little familiar with his voice, not his repertoire at all. Lost in the 50s. I'm like stuck in the 60s, lost in the 50s. Would you rather be stuck in the 60s or lost in the 50s? Or just chilling in the 80s? Um, First of all, my brother from another mother is here. I haven't seen or heard from this cowboy in quite some time. I'm just glad he is here today, present and accounted for. It's good to have you in the chat, my brother, Mr. Minton Miller. Good to have you aboard. Alan Jackson. See, I didn't know. Mike is saying that Alan Jackson is worthy of a tribute. He's a genius songwriter. I so I know Alan's voice, and I've reacted to a handful of his songs. The older I get comes to mind. The duet he did with, I want to say, George Jones. Could I be right on that? I want to say I've reacted to him and um, George Jones. Somebody will correct me. So I know his voice. I know he is, um, has a serious body of work and is a great performer, and people love him. He's great with his fans. Did not know he was, a big songwriter. Um, Murder on Music Row, and it was Alan Jackson and George Strait, right? Yes, all about the demise of Nashville, I believe. The whole way that Nashville was trying to do business, if I remember correctly. It was some kind of critique on the whole Nashville system, if I remember correctly. Beautiful vocals. I remember the song well, the melody. Let me see. Did I put a period on um, the Reddirt stuff? I believe I did. I believe I did put a period on the Reddirt stuff, right? I think I did. I said I loved it, I'm sure. I'm just scrolling through my chat here.
Oh, Alan wrote most of his songs. Okay. Um, I will start referring to Mr. Jackson as a singer songwriter. Okay. I didn't know. I didn't know. Thank you for letting me know that. I had no idea that he was a singer songwriter. Love the one he did, the tribute to Hank Sr. Love that. Minton Miller in rare form, just the way I like Minton Miller. He says you can't put a period on the Reddirt stuff until you do the Flatlanders. Well, I guess it's better than doing the Flat Earthers. I guess that would depend on your perspective, wouldn't it? Flat Earthers, Flatlanders. Flatlanders is on the list. And in recognition, Eminem, Minton Miller, in recognition of your presence here today, my next reaction will be to the Flatlanders. You tell me what song to do, and it's a done deal. There he goes complaining. That's the kind of relationship Minton and I have. I miss him when he's not here, but after he's back for about 5 minutes, he's already causing problems. So Minton says, my brother from another mother, you never have done anything of Mel Tillis. He also writes a lot of his songs. So, Lori, help me correct my brother. I have indeed reacted to Mel Tillis. And somebody's going to do a quick search. Hip hop DJ reacts to Mel Tillis and tell me which Mel Tillis song or songs I've reacted to. There is a difference between complaining and whining. I know. I don't know. You're doing both. You're doing both, Minton. You're doing both. Alan Jackson's Dallas. Yeah, man. Dallas features in so many country songs. Love Alan. Midnight in Montgomery, of course. Um, but I swear, Minton, I've done some Mel Tillis. I'm pretty sure. Or was it his daughter? Spilled Perfume comes to mind. I want to say that was Pam Tillis. Spilled Perfume or something like that. It wasn't Spilled Vodka. No. It was a fragrance, if I remember correctly. Pretty sure I've done some Mel Tillis. Pretty sure I've done some Mel Tillis. Mike is suggesting that I look into Bonnie Millsap's It Was Almost Like a Song. You bet I will. She's got the rhythm and I got the blues. Who is that by? Is that another Alan Jackson song? Good. Lori always comes through. Saved my musical reputation again. Lori, thank you. Good Woman Blues, Mr. Minton Miller. Good Woman Blues. And now that Lori mentions it, I remember the song. Kind of up tempo. So Mel is the cat that stutters. Is that the appropriate term? Can I use that term in the 2020s? I just don't want to get canceled. Remember the song. Remember it well. Because of me doing Pam Willis's stuff. I don't know, may have done 3 of her songs. I remember her beautiful, delicate, really sophisticated voice from what I remember. I want to say I did, the song was called, maybe it was Memphis. Maybe that was the song. Maybe it was Memphis. Or it could have been Memphis. It was definitely not Knoxville. It wasn't Houston. It was Memphis. It was a city in Tennessee. And she was reminiscing about that. Did I meet him in Memphis? Was it Knoxville? And then Spilled Perfume. I think those are the 2 songs. Spilled Something. Maybe it was Memphis. The other half of my brain chiming in. Laurie Thomas, thank you. Maybe it was Memphis. Really cool song. Really cool song. And then folks from, the initial Pam stuff was like, hey, you ought to check out her dad. And I think that's how I rolled into him. Spilled Perfume. What did I say? Spilled vodka? According to Mike Savage, if I watch the video of Don't Rock the Jukebox, Alan Jackson tells the story about the song before he sings it. I like when they do that. Just like he did in person back in 1993. I'll have to check that out. I like Alan Jackson. I like Alan Jackson. Spilled Perfume. So Spilled Perfume and Maybe It Was Memphis are 2 songs that I've reacted to by Pam Tillis. And I'm pretty sure from there is where I got into her dad, who, from what I remember, has had a wonderful voice. The Texas Tornadoes. John Kennedy is chiming in again. I also like the Texas Tornadoes, of which I listen often. Great Tex-Mex music. So, John, I don't know, maybe over a year ago, I did a dive into Tejano music. I grew up in Houston by way of the Caribbean. And I mean, very formative years, like junior high. And I've always remembered, those other sounds being really close by. The south of the border stuff, the brass, if anybody in the neighborhood was playing some banda, which is some really cool regional Mexican music. I love banda. It's brassy, it's big, it's very Mexican.
Banda is great. Love it. So that stuff is always echoed in my upbringing and my life by where just, by happenstance, I grew up in Houston and happened to be very close to that whole vibe. So it was always there. Um, but I never really listened to it. Um, and then I listened to it. Um, so that's in the back here somewhere. But doing my Tejano set over a year ago is when I was introduced to the Texas Tornadoes. I wish there was some better quality videos online, but the studio versions are quite fine. Um, yeah, man, I love them. Great stuff. Um, love everything about what they're bringing, man. Tejano, as you know, is huge for sure in Texas, but it went global. Great Texas stuff. Haven't heard a ton from the Texas Tornadoes, but I have heard some, and I think Flacco was in on a set with them, and may have even been Austin City Limits, maybe somewhere live in Texas. And if Flacco's on a record, it's done. It's over. Flacco Jimenez. Love the Texas Tornadoes as well. That Tex-Mex is really funky. See you, Mike. You have a blessed day, sir. Thank you for jumping in. Right? Screw him, he stuttered. Dean Dillon, who I am somewhat familiar with, is another great songwriter who can sing quite well. He has written many songs for George Strait. So, yeah, John, I am somewhat familiar with DD, Mr. Dean Dillon. I know of his association with Mr. Strait, their collaboration. But I don't know anything about him singing. Maybe I've seen a video where he was at one of those songwriters forum type things and he was talking about the origin of a song and maybe strumming along to it. But I don't know him as an artist. I'm intrigued. Mr. Dean Dillon. Dean Dillon wrote Tenet. That's right. Dean Dillon wrote Tennessee Whiskey. I'm sitting here and I'm wondering, because you guys know what a phenomena Chris Stapleton's version of the song was. It was just huge. And I'm so glad I came across it early in my country music journey, but it was already, by the time I got to it, it was already, in the stratosphere. I remember reacting to Tennessee Whiskey and just being blown away, honestly, by the lyrics. Love Chris Stapleton and loved his delivery in it. His soulful, full-bodied,
That man was in tune with the ancestors when he sung that song. He was holding the hand of somebody who was holding the hand of somebody else that was holding the hand of somebody else that was at somebody's grave. Um, he was definitely touched by the ancestors. Yeah, I'm gonna need to switch seats because my phone wants to die, and I'm not ready for that to happen. Hold on one second. Okay. Lori says David Allan Coe and George Jones sang Tennessee. Yeah, you know what? I don't think I've gone back and listened to the original. But what was I saying? Yeah, the lyrics to that song is what really um, blew me away. The writing was just obviously genius. So Dean Dillon, I need to check him out on the artist side of things. Okay, great suggestion. Um, so once again, party people, thank you so much for hanging out with me for a little bit here on a beautiful Sunday morning. I'm going to wrap up the Reddirt stuff this week. I'm going to try to pull out some iconic Reddirt stuff so we go out with a bang. And then we'll get into a deep dive on Charley Pride. Let's break down Mr. Pride a little bit, find out who he was, where he was from, what makes him tick, what was his significance as it relates to country music. The early years, the later years, the classic. We will do it all. If you guys like this Good Sunday thing, we might be able to do something. Let me know if we should continue to have church. You guys be well. Thank you so much for your support. I appreciate your friendship. Y'all have a good one. Peace and love. See you soon.